Hey everybody, Mike here. This is kind of new to me. I'm doing a webcam, and of course you can tell right now I don't have my picture on here. I didn't want to break it starting off, but I'm continuing my series with contradictions or supposed contradictions in the Bible, and this is number 11. And what the atheist has to say here is that there's a contradiction in the fact that did Saul kill himself, or did the Amalekite? And there's two verses that two sections of verses that he points out here. The very first one is in 1 Samuel 31:4, and that reads, "Then he said, Saul unto his armor-bearer, Draw thy sword, and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through, and abuse me. But his armor-bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it." Now the verse that the atheists tend to say contradicts this would be in 2 Samuel chapter 1 verses 8 through 10. And that reads, "And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. He said unto me again, Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me. For anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him, and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and have brought them hither unto my Lord." So yeah, I guess it does kind of appear when you just kind of look at those verses right off the way that they normally tend to, that there might be a contradiction. When you read the first verse that we talked about, you see what was an actual account of what had happened. Saul killed himself. So what about the second verse that seems to tell us that the Amalekite did it? If you read those verses, you'll see that this young Amalekite is talking with David at the time. This is very important, because what we see happen to him a few verses later. So let's look at what happens just a few verses later when the atheists tried to point out that that was a conflict there. And we'll jump down again, still in 2 Samuel chapter 1 verses 13 through 16. "And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thine hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men, and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth has testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed." See, the Amalekite had stars in his eyes. Like a lot of other people do, he saw an opportunity to go to Saul after he had slain himself, grab his crown and bracelet, then brought them to David, hoping for some glory and fame, you know, those 15 minutes of fame that people talk about, or some kind of reward. What he ended up getting was that he was put to death. Not what he had in mind, I'm sure, but this explains what the difference is there. The first verse is exactly what happened, and the second set just simply shows where somebody is trying to take credit for it when they actually didn't do it. So as with all the other ones, there's no contradiction. Thank you. May God bless you. And visit me sometime at www.mikeschristiancorner.com.